Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today, Virgo, this is your video. Virgo season is always one of my favorites. I have a really soft spot in my heart for Virgos. I feel like I have so many Virgo women in my life that I just love, and Pisces, it being the opposite sign, I think it's important for me because those are often the traits that I lack, which is funny because I've been thinking recently that I relate to a lot of Virgo traits. I feel very organized and routined. Whether that just be an overall earth sign trait, I don't know, with all my Taurus placements, but I love Virgos. My brother's a Virgo. He's actually like total opposite to me, like Pisces sun, Aquarius moon, and he's a Virgo sun, Leo moon. So I think that's pretty funny, the fact that my parents have got completely opposite kids, but we get along so well. So me and my brother like never fight. I don't even know the last time we like argued over something. But I am going to be doing quick little favorites, just a little discussion, because I feel like because it's my opposite sign, I always learn the most when the moon is in a sign that I can connect to. Like I always connect to Leo and Aquarius moons because obviously I'm an Aquarius moon, but like Gemini and Sagittarius moons I don't really relate to as much. So I'm gonna quickly touch on some of my notes. I've written quite a bit. I've almost finished my journal for the year, which kind of bothers me because I don't want to have to start a new one. I always do a seasonal tarot reading. I will put up the Instagram that always uploads them every full and new moon. I find it really helpful. Things I really wanted to think about was how can I be of service to others, what needs decluttering in my life, what needs my attention, where do I need to get more organized, and where to focus my energy this season. So all of these questions really helped me to really think what I want to get out of Virgo energy and use this energy to my advantage. Some things I wrote down was just to be patient with others, make my relationships more meaningful, lower my expectations, and just let it be. And it's funny because it doesn't really sound like Virgo energy, but it's kind of lowering that critical Virgo energy and kind of bringing it back down to a more meaningful relationship, and definitely more Virgo traits that are more grounded and loving and kind. Satisfied with this year. It's been probably one of my favorite years yet. That in 2017 so far from what I remember. I use tarot a lot to kind of unveil some messages. I meditate on them. I really want to think and see what the universe is trying to tell me. Virgo was in the placement of the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus and Mars, so it was such an energized moon and I felt a lot of positive energy from it. I'll read out a list of things that maybe you guys felt during this moon, because I definitely did. Be assertive to what you want. A burst of energy will come from this moon. Initiative and strength is there to finish the year. Mars and Venus will equal passion. Show this in all that you do. Intellectual creativity from Mercury. Mercury is definitely one of my favorite planets. Love life will benefit during this Virgo moon. I hope everyone is loving it up with yourself, with someone else, your partner, your friends. Increase sex drive, open-mindedness, physical attraction. Enhances freedom and self-confidence towards change thanks to Uranus and Taurus. So with another earth sign coming into play in Uranus with Taurus, this kind of brought a different kind of energy as well, a nice flow. Love is highly energized. Goal directed energy. Expand your social circle, get out of your comfort zone, no more boring routines. So if you've got a boring routine that's really bothering you, Virgo season is the time to kind of spruce it up. I don't really want to touch too much on what I've written because I do have a little few bits and pieces to share with you, because every second month I kind of more focus on favorites, then reflections, and this is going to be more of a favorites video. But I did want to touch on the Pisces full moon because that was a big shake up for a lot of people, and it didn't hit me until a couple days after the moon, and a lot of negativity has and deep emotions were raised from this moon, and It wasn't until Sunday night and Monday that I just experienced this fear, and I felt everything. I was very energy sensitive. I was extremely anxious, especially on Monday night, and it wasn't even because of all this new routine that was going on with me going on practicum. It was, I couldn't pinpoint it. I felt anxious. I felt scared. Like, I felt scared to go to sleep by myself, and that's kind of a feeling I feel often. I don't like falling asleep by myself. I get quite anxious. It also didn't help that I watched lots of paranormal videos on the Sunday prior, so I did kind of spook myself out. Then I also spoke to a friend who went to a medium who told her some really spooky things, so my mind was full of a lot, and I was overthinking it all, and I felt so much empathy for what I'd just heard and what I'd heard, like the things that I'd heard that day, that I was very sensitive to that, and it was just a lot. I felt intense. Even meditating, I couldn't even get myself to just sit and be still without getting emotional and getting upset, and I just needed to be calm, and then people around me were getting frustrated, and I didn't need that energy. It was really hard. Like, I found it really hard on Monday night. Like, I've never felt like that before ever. It did teach me to slow it down, and you know what, some people you just outgrow in your life, and you kind of just can't deal with their energy all the time. Like, I'm still living at home, and I'll be honest, I find my family very frustrating because they're all pretty much, I've got so much earth energy in my house that it's just full on. So I don't always have a minute to kind of feel, if that makes sense, and a Pisces kind of needs to feel. But I'll read a quick little thing that I wrote for my Pisces moon here. This full moon is going to show us what we can and what we cannot control. It is going to have us show up for our responsibilities, but it is also going to push us to loosen our grip where we are powerless. It wants us to learn to have some faith. Whatever currents you've been fighting against aren't fighting you back, they are waiting you out. It is time to let go. Don't be afraid to shine this full moon. Stand up, be seen and heard, and direct all of that big energy wisely. Go after what you want and take action. Become fully aware of your emotions to analyze and reflect. Intuition and sensitivity is heightened. Balance how you serve yourself. Balance your everyday routine with your spiritual practice. Unconscious exploration. Deepen your spiritual practice and tap into your intuition. Have trust in the universe. Monday, when I was feeling especially anxious, I took the time to meditate. I took the time to do something for myself rather than looking at everything I had to do and stressing myself out by doing that, when really I just wanted to meditate. Like, I just wanted to sit and be with myself. This week, essentially having to be somewhere 5 days a week, and I'm not getting paid for this practicum, but to be somewhere and expect it and to turn up, it's given me this responsibility, but it's also showing me to balance that. Once you get home, yeah, it's okay to keep on working, but you do need to have limits. Like, there were some nights where I was still typing up notes at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and I thought, I need to spend some time, give myself some time to relax, because I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I have to start it all over again. And another thing is I've weirdly connected with Don't Stop by Fleetwood Mac. It's not really a song I've always loved it, but it's not been one of my favorites. And before the concert, I kept hearing it in my head, and if you know the lyrics, it's like, don't stop thinking about tomorrow, and it's kind of just like oh, it's just so strange. Like, those lyrics just keep going around in my head, and it's like a reminder. So I'm just taking that as a nice message, and then when I heard it at the concert, it was just kind of like really special. I've learned a lot. Like, I've definitely learned what I want from my life and stuff like that. Like, I 100% would do anything for teaching. Like, being in the classroom and how it makes me feel, like, I just feel completely and utterly myself. And it's been a long time since I felt that doing something unconventional to me. Of course, having an everyday job and like being a teacher is quite a normal thing, but for me that's unconventional because I'm an unconventional person, so the normal is strange to me. Does that make sense? You know, going to somewhere for 8 till 4:35 at night and coming home and balancing my spiritual time to myself, it's been really good. A lot of people have been saying to me, oh, you're gonna find it tough going into and working and not getting paid, and you know, it's real life stuff, but it is real life and it is life. Sometimes you just have to do those things, but once it is your life as well, so make of it what you will. So I've just learned a lot this week, and a lot of it is you can't really put it into words. One thing I really love about Virgo Pisces is because it's an earth water mix. So you get this really spiritual, magical energy and this grounding, earthly energy. This mix is really important to me, so I've just really been embracing that. And then I quickly just wrote up a little reflection this week. This was my card I got for this week, which basically means hard work, diligence. You've still got a little bit more to go, but you're on the right track, and that's definitely the message I needed to hear. But before this video gets too long, because I literally told myself not to film for like hours on end, I've just got a little few bits and pieces I want to show you. Just also realized my bra and t-shirt was in sight that whole time. Apologize for that. My nana gave me this. At first I was kind of like, oh okay, thanks. Like, my fear is to be a hoarder. I don't like hoarding stuff. I just like my little bits and bobs that I love, and if I outgrow it or don't need it anymore, I will gift it or donate it. And so when people give me random things, like random gifts, I sometimes are a little bit hesitant. But she gave me this mug. It's like a plastic mug. It just says best teacher on the front, and just when I saw it I just laughed, because when she told me I thought, okay, we'll see if I keep it, but I actually will keep it. I find it quite funny, and I think it's special because my nana gave it to me. It's kind of like her way of encouraging and accepting what I'm doing. So I just thought I'd share that, because even though it's just a thing, an item, the gesture itself means a lot more. I wanted to talk about when I was anxious. The colour purple always speaks to me in weird ways. Last summer I was really gravitating to purple, and it's funny because that was always a colour I hated. When I was little I used to love it, but I just, as I grew up and became a teenager, I just really resented purple. But really, when I was super anxious on Monday night, I was talking to one of my best friends, and she just gave the best advice. And I remember when we were little, we'd always have sleepovers, and if we were hyperactive or couldn't get to sleep, her mum would always say, I've got a magic potion, and she'd put lavender oil on our pillows, or a lavender spray. And I just remember thinking, she's a witch, she's a fairy, like, you know, I just thought it was really magical and special. So when my friend told me, saying, you should use some lavender oil, like that will help relax you, and luckily I had some, it was just nostalgic and it really did work. It kind of brought me back to that calm state, and it was just what I needed. And I just wanted to mention it, because not only have I got a special connection and relation to that with one of my bestest friends ever, who I've known since I was a baby, I just really wanted to mention that. As well as amethyst crystals. This always reminds me of my mum, because she's an Aquarius born in February, and amethyst is the February birthstone. So I've always associated her with amethyst, and I never really gravitated to it, but as of recently whenever I think of a crystal in my head, it's always an amethyst. So, or when I need some energy or something in my head, it's just the colour of the amethyst pops up, and I really love that purple colour. I think it's just beautiful. But yeah, Jamie got me this crystal towel for my birthday, and I think my mum bought me this one, so I love putting them together just on my little. And even when I was at the Fleetwood Mac concert the other night, purple was, every time the screen went purple, I felt the energy. I just felt it, and I think it's just because it's a very spiritual colour. So it's the colour that reminds me of a witch. It's the colour I associate with Virgo and Taurus. It's strange. I don't know how that worked out, but really cool. Last little bit, I'm just going to talk about Fleetwood Mac, because honestly, the most surreal moment of my life is seeing Fleetwood Mac. I can't, like, the first time I saw Stevie in 2017, she did her own tour, and I was lucky enough to go, and I was on the floor as well. I think I was the 20th row. I was row 14 for Fleetwood Mac. My nana gave me her special collector's ticket, and then I just stuck my ticket on the back just as something special. And I just really love the colours, and I've been sitting it up looking at it, and it's just so special. As soon as they came on stage, I just was like, don't cry, don't freak out, but I just honestly couldn't believe it. And to have Jamie there with me was really special. It felt like everyone in the arena had just been taken up to a whole nother universe, and like we just had our own little thing. And it was really special because of course Neil Finn's a New Zealander, so he got to play, and Fun fact, Jamie's served him coffee twice and spoken to him, so I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, and Mike Campbell, I didn't even know who he was, and when he was on stage it was really special, and I really admired what every single artist brought to the stage. Like, Mick was amazing. Like, I have no words. It was just an amazing experience, and honestly, if you ever get the opportunity, like, it was magical. Of course, since the concert I've been listening to them more than usual. I don't ever go a day without listening to Fleetwood Mac, so I just show you their albums. Their first ever album, and Rumours, of course. Rumours is just, you can't go wrong with Rumours. Christine, she was just amazing. She's so beautiful. All of her songs she was singing. I think because I'd seen Stevie before, but to see Christine there, she looks so good for her age. It was amazing. I mean, I'm sad Lindsay wasn't there. I mean, I would have loved to, but you never know if they ever do another tour. Of course, I will do everything I can to go. Just wanted to quickly remind some of the songs I've been listening to more. Secondhand News is being stuck in my head. Don't Stop, Songbird, Warm Ways, Say You Love Me, I'm So Afraid is one of the best songs ever. If you have not listened to it, you need to listen to it. But yeah, a lot of Christine's songs I've been listening to a lot more, I think, because I've always been like a #1 Stevie fan. Like, I just adore Stevie, but yeah, just at the concert I really loved all of the songs Christine had to sing, so I think that was really special. I just wanted to quickly talk about that because it was just like amazing. Like, I can't even believe it happened. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed Virgo season. We have a Libra season next. I will see you in my next video. Bye.